Hello and welcome to Daily Dose Radio, a 5-minute-a-day podcast studying the Psalms verse by verse, recorded here in the dining room of the Bible Bistro, located in Sharonville, Ohio. Hey there, friend. Welcome back to Daily Dose Radio here in the Bible Bistro. This week we're going to look at Psalm 100. It's a part of these worship psalms, and this one is no exception. It's really wonderful. It is rather short, though. It's only 5 verses, so we're going to examine a verse per day this week. And of course, also, we're going to look at that introduction. We have a little bit of an introduction here, not much of one, but we'll look at that and see what that tells us. So this is a psalm, it says, of thanksgiving. That's the introduction here to the psalm. And the actual word thanksgiving only occurs twice in this psalm. And it actually occurs in the second half. This psalm is nicely divided into 2 portions. Verses 1, 2, and 3 make up the first portion. 4 and 5 make up the second portion. So verse 3 and verse 5 actually they're almost like choral pieces. They act as concluding statements to what has come before. There are 7 imperative verbs in this particular psalm, and those verbs sort of act like the bones upon which all of the psalm hangs. The 4th imperative verb is the chiastic center of the psalm. So we sort of make our way up the mountain to the top where that imperative verb is, and then we make our way down into the valley to the other side, and we're doing it along 7 verbs that make up the chiastic structure of this particular psalm. So a chiasm is kind of like a pyramid, and you go up the steps and then go down the steps. So the very center of the psalm is that 4th imperative in the it's in the 3rd verse. In the 3rd verse. So we reach the pinnacle of what the psalmist wants us to have here in that 3rd verse. We begin with verse 1. Let me read that for us. Make a joyful noise unto the Lord, all ye lands. So right here in the very beginning, first word out of the box, we have an imperative, a verb that is a command. Now, you want to know what an imperative is? It's like when your mother tells you to wash the dishes. Okay, she's not asking you. She's not saying, would you please wash the dishes? Now, that's a request, and maybe if your mom said, would you please wash the dishes, that's just a polite way of her telling you to do a thing. But in the Hebrew, what we have is these verbs that are commands. They are wash the dishes, make a joyful noise, bless the Lord. There's no question about what they want the reader to know. They want them to hear the command, okay? And that's what this is. Make a joyful noise is not a suggestion, it's not a request, it's not a complaint. It is a command. And so we enter into worship here with this psalm of thanksgiving with the word make a joyful noise. It's not a request to us, it is a command for us. And who are we making the joyful noise to? Well, we know the subject of these psalms, don't we? It's unto the Lord. Make a joyful noise unto the Lord, all ye lands. So he looks outside of Jerusalem, outside of the nation of Israel, and he just brings in all the earth. He says, all ye lands. So all the lands of all the peoples, everywhere, he says, make a joyful noise unto the Lord. Why is that? Well, he's going to explain why he's making that command. And he tells us all about that in verse 3. That's why verse 3 is so significant. It is really the central point of this psalm. And we get there quickly, don't we? So it's only 5 verses. Verse 3 stands right in the middle. It has the chiastic center of our verbal structure. And it also has the center line of the psalm lies right there in verse 3 as well, and explains why he begins this way, and really the whole psalm. So we'll get to that this week on Wednesday. Well, join me again tomorrow, and we'll look at verse 2 here on Daily Dose Radio. Thanks for listening to Daily Dose Radio. For more fresh and delicious Bible studies, podcasts, books, and more, Check out the Bible Bistro online and on YouTube. Join me again next time for Daily Dose Radio.